All right, grand rising, grand arrival, grand return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and the repentant alike. I am Cleopadra Sophia the Bodhi, and this is our Spectral Moon 2025 Jubilee Zolkin and Market Calendar with Hebrew feast days. I don't know why I could not say any of that. You will be receiving this on the 13th of November, just before the start of the moon. On the 14th of November, the invocation will be available on my Ortho Sister or St Philomena Laity Trust church channel, if you want to hear the scripture readings and whatever that go with this month. Now remember to do your new month ritual. If it's black eyed peas and greens, go ahead and do that. Soon we'll have our new month ritual charms or whatnot available, working on that. Okay, I think I've got it just about down to how I want it to be done. It's just one more thing I need to connect it with, and then we're good. So if you haven't selected a new moon ritual, I suggest you do that. Now, this month actually starts with a feast if you are in physical lack, or a fast. No, yeah, a feast if you're in physical lack, and a fast if you are in physical abundance. And so I talked about that before, but so you can start it now, or you can start it the day after Thanksgiving, okay? Depending on what's going on in your own life, right? You want to make this not super complicated. So I would say for sure by the 28th of November, everybody should be either feasting or fasting, and that's going to go until the 24th, right before Christmas, okay? So this month starts at 28 degrees of, oh my gosh. I'm going to fix this before I put it out. 28 degrees of Libra in Mount Olympus, 22 degrees of Scorpio in American Troy. It's going to be the 10th day of the lunar, or the 10th lunar mansion. The 7th day of creation. Kin number is 244. It's the 11th month, first day. So that's another 11, lots of 11s, lots of 1s. Okay. Starts on a Friday, market week 27, E5, and it's also a 5-day. And this is the third time of the year that this only happens 4 times a year. Okay, so this is the third time of the year where you have the planetary numbers in alignment from 1 to 8, without, except for on this time it's not a 2, it's 2 1s, or 11. Okay, it's 1 through 8 and then 1 through 9. This only happens 4 times a year. This month starts in this energy. Okay, so that's important to point out. And like I mentioned, this is the spectral moon, and I'm going to put the actual header on here before I share the actual handout with everybody. Okay, so let's talk about the portal days. Okay, so on the the very next day, which is on Saturday, now that I've established, and there's no skips in the degrees or anything in this month. We do have a skip coming up, but I don't think it's in the next one either. I think it's in the last one. So, which would make sense because then you have the day out of time. So, golly, this calendar is amazing. So we do have a Votum day, which is not that's what the X stands for. That's day 245. That day is what is listed on the Pacal Votum tomb. So it's not a galactic portal day, but Pacal Votum, who is Saul, denoted it as a very important day. Okay, so that's going to be 245. That's on the 15th. And it's also a 6th day. It's literally lines up. It's a 6th day. All right, so let's talk about the portal days we have. We have 2 portal days because we will be ending a cycle and starting a new 260-day cycle. Again, if you're interested in joining me, just keep an eye out. I think I found another way to do this, which I think I'm going to like a lot better because it's public. So I'm working through the process in my mind on how to do that. So I will have more information at least a week out. Okay, at least by Thanksgiving, I will be able to tell everybody how this is going to go. I'm just still working out some of the details. Now, we are currently in Mercury retrograde and Jupiter retrograde when this actual month starts. So what I have noticed so far with this Mercury retrograde, because I didn't even realize it had started on the 9th, is that since I've been doing so much work, and I always say that, like, I've been doing so much work, I've done so much work, okay? Since I've been doing so much work, I've done so much work, I am now noticing that there are benefits from that. Like for example, a computer that I have been looking for ever since I moved to this godforsaken place, infested like with a bunch of nonsense. The energy is so bad here, but I've been looking for my computer, my other computer, ever since I moved, and I could never find it. Like, I looked everywhere, like I would put it, I have all my electronics together. I'm very organized, as you could tell by the things in the back, right? I'm very organized. I have a lot of stuff, but I keep it together. The laptop just magically appeared. It was in a crate where it shouldn't have been. This whole time, 2.5 years, I've been looking for this laptop, and it literally just appeared. That's just crazy. A lot of people know, or maybe you don't know, I used to, one of my businesses, my previous businesses, was I was doing mobile hookah parties. And so I have been looking for a recipe to make my own hookahs, my own shisha. That's what the tobacco is they use in hookahs, for about 10 years. 10 years I've been looking for a recipe, right? Because it's like, it can't be that complicated. Why can't I find it? Well, what was this? We're in the midst of the social media fast, okay? So I think it was on Saturday, maybe it was Friday. I was just doing some research and stuff like that, and I literally found a recipe for shisha, and I've been looking for one for, like I said, 10 years. Like, I never stopped looking. Like, occasionally I would just do a search. I never found anything. All of a sudden, I finally found a recipe, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what all of this stuff is, because a lot of it you get from the international, Mediterranean, or the Muslim, or whatever you want to call it, the Middle Eastern international store. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have some of this stuff. I can go get it. It's easy. But one of the main ingredients is tobacco, right? So I have some tobacco. But it's in a packet. It was a little expensive. I was like, oh, I don't want to use this tobacco. So I was like, you know what? I've got these cigarettes. I'm not going to smoke them. Let me take the tobacco from there. So the instructions, part of the instructions are to take the tobacco and wash it, like brew it like a tea and wash it. And so I did that. And the first rinse of the tobacco, I saved the water that came off of it, because another thing I had been looking for, which was, there's this cologne, this tobacco cologne, that they use for like a lot of spiritual stuff. And I've been looking for some, and I was like, dang, what happened to, I don't know what this in this stuff. Cause you know, like they say Florida water and all this stuff. They won't tell you what's in it. It's very frustrating. So, oh my gosh. Somebody called me? Hold on. This is very frustrating. This is really crazy. I'm gonna have to go back and do this again. This is crazy. I'm not gonna have 3 videos. Yes, I am. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is quite frustrating. I've been trying to record this thing. It's just going to be in 3 videos, because I'm absolutely not going to Oh boy. This is just nuts. So I've been looking for a recipe for this tobacco cologne or whatever it is, and ding ding ding, that's what it is. Now I probably should have used the second rinse instead of the first rinse, but this was already tobacco that shouldn't have any stuff on it. So I was just amazing. So what I've noticed so far in this Mercury retrograde is that old things that I did, like again, that shisha thing was 10 years ago. That tobacco cologne thing was 4 years ago almost. I think that was from 2022. When I bought the other one that I think I used it all. I don't know what happened to it, but that was like 2022 when that happened. So I'm solving a lot of like old issues. So this is a different Mercury retrograde for me, because most Mercury retrogrades are very like they're not solving old problems. They're kind of just like, you know, like rehashing old stuff, but not solutions. This is the first Mercury retrograde that I've had that have solutions attached to it. Like, I've been asked for, please, can y'all help me find my computer? The computer just appears. You know what I mean? Like, this is old. So I'm finding that old prayers are being answered. Old questions I ask are being answered. Okay. So you guys can keep track and see if that's accurate for you. Before I go into all, I just want to point that out. Before I go into all the astrology for the month, let's look at the holidays, the lunations, feast days, so on and so forth. Okay. So on the 20th of November, where, in Mount Olympus, it'll be 4 degrees of Scorpio. In American Troy, it'll be 28 degrees of Scorpio. We have a Scorpio new moon. That's also the Tzolk'in Nones. And the Scorpio new moon is going to be at 28 degrees of Scorpio. So we're almost done with Scorpio season at that point. Then the next day, on the 21st of November, we have the entry of the Theotokos into the temple. So we'll be, again, fasting or feasting at that time, depending on your energy, right? And then Thanksgiving Day is on the 27th of November. Is also the Tzolk'in Ides, which whatever you ask for on the first of the month needs to show up by the Ides. That's the rule of how it works. Okay. Then we have the American calends, which is also going to be the first day of our 260-day cycle. And it's a galactic portal day. That is December the 1st. Okay. And it's also a Monday, which is like right in the middle of our week. Then we have a Gemini full moon that's going to be on December the 4th. The Tzolk'in for that is going to be 4. So we'll be just starting the new cycle. And it's a super moon, so it's going to be a large moon as well. And then the day after, on the 5th of December, we have the American Nones. So that's like when you start to see what you asked for at the beginning of the American calendar month show up. So those are the important days for that particular cycle. I wanted to point that out before I got too far. So let's talk about the astrology. I'm going to, I don't want to cover it. I just want to put it so I can see it a little bit better. All right. So let's talk about the astrology. So Mercury is going to be retrograde basically most of the month. It's December the 7th when, no, it's not December the 7th. It comes out of retrograde. Mercury comes out of retrograde on November the 29th. Okay. Saturn is going to be coming out of retrograde, and also Neptune. So Mercury coming out of retrograde, Saturn coming out of retrograde, Neptune coming out of retrograde, Jupiter going into retrograde. So that is the flow for this month. A lot of, again, the old cycles are wrapping up because Saturn and Neptune are coming out of retrograde. So that old stuff is, they're on their push back to 0 degrees of Aries, where they're going to cross into Aries together. I do believe that's in February. Okay. So on the 14th of November, so now everyone knows what dates in degrees I'm talking about. I'm just going to use the dates from here on in, and you can do the math. Okay. So on the 14th, I just said it. Oh, on the 14th of November, Jupiter retrograde is going to be trine Saturn retrograde, and Neptune retrograde is going to be sextile Uranus retrograde. So that's going to be this is all of these planets very close to us doing an investigation, because again, there's things that these planets are supposed to do, and if they have not done them, they are held responsible for them. So now they're coming to see if the things that they sent us, again, to learn, to do, or whatever, if they actually reached us. And I'm thinking that they're realizing that the prayers and stuff, the requests we made from them, never reached us. I don't think they knew, again, that these things did not reach us, but because now we are part of the Holy Emperium, we are building new Tyrre. This is the city on which will descend, and the Creator will sit amongst us. We're building that new city. Yeah, we have to be in position. Now, we were always going to build the new city, right? But see, they were listening to these weird magicians who were lying to them. And I saw a video on TikTok that was so disturbing. A lot of these young women, these Gen Z women, especially the white women, but I'm assuming it's all of them, they do copious amounts of magic. Like, the girl had made a video, a guy came over to her house and he went through her drawer and she had bird beaks in her drawer. And people were like sex toys? No. Beaks from dead birds off the side of the road. She cleaned them off. I'm assuming she cleaned them off. Oh, God almighty. I'm assuming she cleaned them off. But she had them in her drawer. In her drawer with her clothes. And she thought the guy was crazy for leaving out the house and running away as fast as possible. It was another young Gen Z girl. She had a mortar and pestle she only used for bones. And the guy is like, are you going to kill me and grind my bones? And she's like, I don't even know you like that. Excuse me? That's your response to, are you going to kill me and dry my bones? Is I don't know you like that? Yeah, something is wrong with these women. No offense at all whatsoever, but something is going on with these women, okay? Something's going on with them. I don't know what it is. I don't even know why I was talking about that. I have no idea why they came up. So I'm going to move on because now I have a brain I don't know what's going on. Okay, so on November the 15th, seems like a roundabout story. On November the 15th, the moon is going to be trine Pluto and basically Pluto's going to be trine Uranus. This is going to be a major grand trine. Pluto trine Uranus is still an energy that's going to be playing out all month, but the moon also being there is literally going to create this huge trine on the 15th. Okay, then on the 17th of November, we have Jupiter square the moon, Jupiter trine the sun, Saturn trine the sun, and Mercury retrograde opposite Sedna retrograde. So this is a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy on this day, and it's an 8-day, so that makes sense. It's an 8 market day. It's a planetary 8-day. It's literally an 8-day. Technically it's 988. And it's 1117, which is an 8. So it's a lot of 8s. So this would be like the last, not the last, but this is another 888 portal. 1117, 17 is an 8. It's an 8 market day. It's an 8 planetary day. That's an 888 portal. So Jupiter square the moon, trine the sun. So Jupiter is going to be checking the moon to make sure our emotions are in check, but it's going to be supporting the sun to make sure the sun has what it needs. Saturn is also going to be trine the sun, so it's going to be a heavy emphasis on sun energy, which means you have to be in your own energy. You can't be in someone else's energy, letting someone else control your energy, especially on that day. That is an 888 portal. That is a use it or lose it portal. Don't be messing around, okay? That's my suggestion. All right, so on the 18th, of November, you have Venus trine and sextile the North Node and the South Node. It's over a few days because Venus moves about a degree a day. It's not getting ready to go into retrograde yet, so it's about a degree a day. And on the 19th, so Venus trying to sextile the North Node and the South Node. It starts on the 18th. I'm sorry. And then on the 19th, you have retrograde Mercury trine retrograde Neptune. So basically, what I noticed is that all the interactions that Jupiter did before it went into its retrograde, Mercury is getting ready to go back over them too, and then Jupiter's gonna go back over them again and be like, okay, so what did you say? Like, oh, you said X, Y, and Z. I don't see what X, Y. I don't see it. Like I guess in our case, because we'll be feasting, right? So it's gonna be like, hey, you said such and such was doing this. Why are my people fasting, right? Because the men are gonna fast for us. Why are my people fasting? They don't seem to be in abundant energy. What's going on? They look at the women. We're still not in abundant energy. Like, this is the best feast you can put on. Remember, we're appealing to Zeus. As long as Zeus is partying, he's good. So if these planets have not made it so that we can party appropriately with Zeus, it's curtains for them. They're going to be in a little bit of trouble, okay? And that's what I see in this reading. They're going to be in trouble because they did not do what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to allow us to party, and they didn't. So it's going to be a price to pay for that, okay? It's not for free. They've been getting away with it for a long time, but not so much anymore. So then you have the 20th of November. That's actually a Sabbath when we have this Scorpio new moon. So that's interesting. And you're going to have retrograde Mercury opposite retrograde Uranus. I might have said that already. I don't know. Retrograde Mercury is opposite retrograde Uranus. That's because Sedna and Uranus are both retrograde right now, and both of them are moving backwards, but Sedna moves way slower than Uranus, and so that's why they're not that close together, because Uranus is moving faster than Sedna, okay? So on the 21st of November, that's the entry of the Theotokos into the temple. You have the sun opposite Uranus retrograde and the sun trine Neptune retrograde. So the sun is getting it's very interesting that as the literal sun in the sky starts to basically go into its descent, meaning there's more night than day, in the day, that the sun is being recharged by all of these planets. That's very, very interesting. Okay, I'm not sure if it's every year that it's like this, but clearly it's this year. Okay, so the next day, which is November the 22nd, you have Jupiter retrograde trine Mercury retrograde trine Saturn retrograde. So this is all Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn, very, very close to us. Doing a check again, this would make sense. Jupiter is the party, Mercury is our knowledge, Saturn is the timekeeper. They're all checking to make sure, hey, these people are supposed to have all of this stuff by this date. Where is it? Why don't they have it? I mean, in my mind, I see this like somebody coming to check. Okay, let's go see her. Let's go check on Sophia at the house that she picked out. And they look at all the houses that I picked out that I didn't get. And they're like, wait, Sophia's not here. Sophia's not here. Sophia's not here. Where's Sophia? They come and see me here where I am in this place, which is miserable. And they're like, whoa, ho, ho. Who said Sophia was allowed to stay in a place like this? So sudden change, rapid advancement. That's what it feels like. And that's for everybody. Like whatever it is you've been asking for and asking for and asking for, again, fervently. And every time you ask, the scripture says, seek and ye shall find. It's not seek and you might find. No, ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. So we've been knocking, we've been seeking, we've been not getting no doors open. We have not been finding. You know what I mean? Like, again, I was looking for a recipe for shisha for 10 years. And it wasn't because I wasn't looking. Literally the video, another situation of this, that video was made 8 years ago. So 2 years after I started looking for how to make my own shisha, the answer was produced. And then they interfered with it so that it never got to me. So people can say I'm reaching, I'm making it up, this and that, all they want. The proof is the proof. Just like with the dumb diverses. Oh, how will we ever know that they accepted the dumb diverses? Well, the Pope responded to it within 20 days. So yeah, we know for a fact that they literally know what we're doing. There's no like room left for that not to be proven true. Now the problem is, we're on a time, so just as a preview, we have a very important fast coming up in the beginning of January for Imbolc, right? That's really, really important. We have to be in position before that starts. There's no more time for this, oh, well, let's just drag them out another 3, 5, 7, 10 years. By not letting them find out an answer to a very basic question. There's no more time for that, because we have to be ready to go when this feast, it's going to be a fast for us, but for the men, it's going to be a feast. We have to be ready to go because we have to be ready to support them. This is going to be a very, very, y'all know how our feasts and our fasts are. They're very serious and they're very intense spiritually. And so we have to be ready for that. And so there's things that I can't be here. I have people to entertain. It's a lot of stuff going on. I don't have time for this. They're really just holding me up at this point by keeping me here. And so we have to move on. Okay. It's just, it literally is just time. So, let me continue to move. I don't remember. This is the second time this has happened. Oh, that day is also the first day of Sagittarius season. I'm sorry, what day is that? November the 22nd. That's when the sun enters Sagittarius at 0 degrees. Okay, so the first day of Sagittarius season is the next day, which is 11/23. November the 23rd. The sun is going to be opposite Sedna. The sun is going to be sextile Pluto, and Mars is going to be square the north node and the south node. Now that Mars square the nodes is a very difficult energy. We have experienced that here before. We know what time it is, but this is the first Mars square the nodes since it has its retrograde. So basically, if these energies that use the north node and the south node to do whatever they're doing, if they're not in order, Mars is coming to lay down the hammer. Squares are what? It's a check. It's what your name is, cuz? What you doing here, cuz? Hey, you were supposed to go over there and reward them women over there for what they have been doing, all the energy they've been putting forth, all the paperwork they've done. What you doing? Why you ain't did your job? So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that Mars is coming to do when it squares the nodes, because we know they use the north and the south node of the moon to do a lot of magic. Now, what exact magic? We could figure it out, but it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is Mars is coming to check them, okay? On the first day of Sagittarius season. Yeah, that's when the party is supposed to start. Zeus is in charge by that day. Where we at? Oh, it's not on this calendar. What I say, the 22nd? Yeah, by the 23rd, Zeus he's running the show. It's his time. So you can't be, again, this is what they always do. They make it so that, we're not quite ready. Zeus has to come down here and do a bunch of stuff, but that's not going to be acceptable this year. They are going to have enough time now to make sure, because that means obviously we pass the test with the worms and all of that, like the Jade Emperor, Job, he believed us. Like we're crying out to the Jade Emperor, hey, they not doing right. They're lying about how wrong they're doing us. And so what did the Jade Emperor do? He sent somebody, from the tribe of Benjamin, which he was affiliated with, because I haven't done a video on this. You guys are getting lots of information because I haven't been making videos, but, obviously we believe that Dinah raised Benjamin, right? But additionally, we believe that when Dinah married Job, Benjamin was still in her care. And so because the reason why Job didn't get 20 children instead of 10, right? He had 10 children and all 10 died. He didn't get 20 children instead of 10 is because he got one bonus child, which was Benjamin. So he would have raised Benjamin like his son. Literally, and he would have cared for Benjamin because Dinah was caring for Benjamin. And so basically someone from the tribe of Benjamin came to interrogate us to see if we was making it up, if we were lying about how bad things are. And obviously we weren't lying. Like, so we've been telling Dinah, hey, it's bad down here. We need to contact somebody. Someone needs to help us. She sent us Benjamin. We did not reject him because his skin color wasn't appropriate for what certain groups of people say. We said, that is a fellow human and a brother. Let's figure out what we can do. And we paired up and worked together, just like Dinah would have taken care of Benjamin. Dinah would have put spiritual protection around Benjamin. Benjamin would have put literal protection around Dinah. That's how we're working together with our brothers, okay? Another set of brothers that actually have some respect for us and just don't want to use and abuse our energy for their, whatever it is they got planned. All right, so the next placement we have is on the 25th of November. We have the moon conjunct Pluto, and both of these are going to be trine Sedna in retrograde because Pluto is trine Sedna basically all month. On the 26th of November, Venus is going to be trine Jupiter and Saturn. So this is a grand trine with Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn. This is so we've already experienced this energy with the moon. I think we're going to experience it with Mercury. Did we? Jupiter. Well, we experienced with the moon. Now we're going to experience it with Venus, okay? Jupiter. Yeah, we had it with Mercury retrograde, where they're all in retrograde. So now we're going to have it with Venus, okay? And this is just before Saturn turns direct. This is literally the last day Saturn is in retrograde, on the 26th, because on the 27th, that's again our Ides, that's Thanksgiving Day, that is Sabbath. So all the things line up together. All right, it's also an 11 day, so please don't go into Thanksgiving to start trouble, because you gonna get trouble, okay? That's just a suggestion. Thanksgiving Day, you have Venus square the moon, and then you have Saturn going direct at 10:52 p.m. But Venus is going to be squared the moon after both of them just checked in with Jupiter and Saturn in retrograde. So again, this is one of those things where please do not start trouble at the Thanksgiving table. Don't get into no arguments with nobody. I know y'all, certain people don't want to hear it. They don't never listen. Fine, do you, boo. But I'm just suggesting that you stay out of it, because it's going to be a mess if you don't. That 11 days are not days to mess with. They're just not. Okay, they're literally not days to mess with. They're not days you want to start trouble, because it's going to be trouble. Okay. Now on the 29th, Mercury goes direct at 12:39 p.m. So it's not in the morning, it's in the afternoon. And then on the 30th, Venus is going to be trine Neptune. Okay. Finally, this has been quite a disaster. Like, we're not even talking about okay. All right. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. All right. Okay. What was I about to tell y'all? Neptune. No. Mercury. All right. So on the 30th, Venus is going to be trine Neptune. Venus is also going to be opposite Uranus, and then Mercury is direct on that day. That's the first day it starts direct. That's on the 30th. That's also the last day of our 260-day cycle. So that is like impossible to, like, that's just impossible. Okay. It's amazing. So on the 1st, which is going to start our new 260-day cycle, the American calendar. Okay. That's basically it. There's not a lot of astrology until we get to the end of the month, which is, I'm not the end of the month, I'm sorry, after the Gemini full moon. Now remember, Gemini is knowledge. So Mercury is just gone direct, and it's basically gathering all its pieces together to do what it needs to do. And the very first thing that happens is the Gemini full moon. There's not a lot of stuff going on between Mercury going direct and the Gemini full moon. It was very weird, but now I see it's because Mercury's gathering all the knowledge that it put in from the last 3 weeks it's been in retrograde, right? And it's going to be doing something with this Gemini full moon, which is not going to be no joke. The next day is the 5th, December the 5th. That's the nones, and you have the sun square the north node and the south node. So early in the month you had Mars square the north node and the south node. Now the sun is getting ready to come and square the north node and the south node. Remember, this only happens once per year, and so this is really this is pretty serious. Okay, yeah, this is pretty serious. Okay, pretty serious business. Then on the next day, which is the 6th of what is this day? The 6th of December, you have Mercury trine. Am I saying that right? Yeah, you have Mercury trine Jupiter in retrograde. So again, Jupiter is going back to, now Jupiter's at home. It's in retrograde. It's at home. Now it's going back to meet with these same people to make sure that these people, you know, his party is ready. Like, this is no, people not playing with, or rather, nobody should be playing with Zeus this year. Okay. This not like other years where they could do whatever they want and Zeus wasn't like, they were, using and abusing Zeus for what he does to make sure everything is all right. Okay. This ain't like that. That was previous years. You can't do that this year. Don't mess around with Zeus. Okay. This not for my viewers, but this for whoever, they know who they are, who this is for. Okay. The next day you have Mercury trine Saturn. That is, December the 7th. You have Mercury trine Saturn. Okay. And then on December the 9th, you have Mars square Saturn. So this is basically like maybe a once per year or every 2 years, something like that, cycle with Mars square Saturn. Depends on retrogrades. Excuse me. So this is a huge energy. So imagine if Mars ain't in the right energy and Saturn ain't in the right energy. If Mars ain't in the right energy and Saturn ain't in the right energy, it's a problem. Okay. It's a big problem. Okay. Because they're going to be square, which means that's a check. That's a check in. When you people were saying a few months ago, like, who I got to check in with when I go to such and such. That check in with somebody you don't want. Like when you go to Compton, who you got to check in with? That Drake, who you got to check in with when you go to Compton? Who gonna check you in and give you credit and say you good? That's what this is. Like, imagine this. That's what this is. Okay. Then you have the moon square Sedna. This is going to be on the 10th of December. The moon is going to be square Sedna. Mercury is going to be opposite retrograde Uranus, and Neptune goes direct at 7:24 a.m. So we start the day with Neptune in retrograde, but that's the last day. Okay, the next day we have Neptune going direct, and it's going to be trine Mercury. Again, Mercury is checking everybody, like is making sure, right, that everybody did what they were supposed to do as they come out of their retrograde cycle. And you have Mars, that enforcer, that has already checked the nodes, because the nodes are the entry. Remember, the nodes are the entry point into the tree of life. In order to get in, you have to come in through either the north node or the south node. There's no other ways to get in. So you got Mars checking the nodes, you got Sun checking the nodes. This month ain't nothing to play with. These people not getting in like they used to and everything is great. No. The nodes are going to be doing the enforcing, because the nodes are the guards. They're Rahu and Ketu. They are the guards. They've always been the guards, and they have really derelicted their duty. So now they're getting checked. Okay. So that's the astrology for this month. It's going to be really fascinating to see how this plays out. I can't tell you. I don't know. I do think that it's going to be quite chaotic for some of these people and their, some of this weird stuff they've been doing. I think they're going to have to pay a very serious cost for and it's not that they're going to have to pay a very serious cost. It's that things are now going to have to happen really fast, really lightning fast, in order to be ready for Zeus's party. Like, they're not messing up Zeus's party this year. And what is the culmination of Zeus's party is the nativity of the Christ. And so they have to do something by that day, or they're going to be in big trouble. So that's what I see for this spectral moon. Definitely keep your eye out on these 11 days, man. There's 2 11 days this month. Yeah, there's 2 11 days in this month. One is November the 19th. That's a Wednesday. And Venus is going to be trine and sextile the north node and the south node. And retrograde Mercury is going to be trine retrograde Neptune. And then the second one is Thanksgiving. Please don't mess around on them 2 days, the 19th and the 27th. Don't mess around on those days. Are they both Sabbaths? No. The 19th is the day before Sabbath, and the 27th is Sabbath. So again, keep your Sabbaths. The biggest Sabbath to keep this year is Thanksgiving. Don't play around. Okay? I would not be playing around on that day. Okay? So again, keep an eye out for the start of our 260-day cycle. That's going to be I'm working on that as we speak, and I think it's going to come together really just in time. I'm really grateful for all of you all to be here. Hopefully this is very helpful to navigating the energy for this month. So shalom, peace and blessings, of course, and we'll see you in the next video.